Good day. My name is Joseph Conat. I will be giving an oral presentation to Management 202 about a factor that has affected Facebook. And the factor I've chosen is privacy concerns. Privacy concerns can be broken down into three general areas: conflicts with internal policies and how they have negatively impacted public perception of Facebook, lawsuits arising from privacy concerns, and government spying. Facebook has always maintained a real name policy, which means that users are required to use their legal given name for their accounts. The intent behind this policy is so that users are guaranteed that they know who they are dealing with. Enforcement of this policy has been inconsistent. Often, the system suspends accounts that they don't recognize as being real names, such as Native American, African American, or generally non-European names. This has given the public a perception that Facebook has an inherent but inadvertent racism and a European bias. Another aspect of the real name policy is the real name versus public name debate. Often, public figures use a name that is not their given name, but is the one that they are commonly recognized by. Author Salman Rushdie had his account suspended because his given name is Ahmed. This has also affected the LGBT community, as transgenders are often changing identities and would prefer to be known by their new identity rather than their given one. Public figures such as drag queens or kings, journalists often go by a commonly recognized public name that is not their given name, and it would be better for them if their account was under their common name. This has put them in conflict with Facebook a number of times. Lawsuits arising from privacy concerns. In Germany, the Central Consumer Association filed suit against Facebook on the basis that Facebook's Friend Finder application, which uses your contact information and your email address book to find your friends and associates on Facebook so that you may connect with them through the social media site, also contacted these people allegedly on your behalf but without the user's consent or knowledge. The Central Consumer Association maintained that Facebook should disclose the extent and scope of the Friend Finder application. They were also concerned that Facebook's end-user license agreement claimed exclusive rights to any original creative output or intellectual property uploaded to the site by a user, including pictures for their profiles, art, music, etc. The Central Consumer Association maintained that exclusive rights should remain with the user, and that Facebook must obtain consent from the user before they use those original creative outputs or intellectual property. In America, Facebook tangled with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, initially for similar concerns as in Germany, claiming exclusive rights to creative output and failure to protect private information of their users, such as profile pictures, no matter how the user had set their privacy settings, and passing user information to third-party applications without the user's consent or knowledge. Facebook settled with the FTC on those counts. Later, the next year, they again were in conflict with the Federal Trade Commission over the use of their facial recognition software, failure to change their policy to reflect that they did not have exclusive rights to intellectual property, and claiming that any minors on the site, simply by logging in, gave the express consent of their parents for Facebook to use their intellectual property, images, and private information. This was called deemed consent. Facebook settled with the FTC in that regard as well. In June 2013, a government contractor for the National Security Agency named Edward Snowden fled the country and revealed that he had stolen hundreds of thousands of classified documents regarding government surveillance of United States citizens. Primary among these revelations was a program called PRISM. Initially, it was alleged that PRISM had direct and unfettered access to Facebook servers and could access information for storage and use against any user of Facebook, U.S. citizen or non-U.S. citizen, at will. It was later clarified in public and in congressional hearings that PRISM was in fact a technical and legal process by which the NSA could request, through legal channels, information on a particular user, and Facebook could deny or grant that request after reviewing its legality. Later, it was revealed that the NSA had a computer program codenamed Turbine, the purpose of which was to deliver malicious software or malware to an individual user's computer with the express intent of stealing files from the individual's hard drive and uploading them to the NSA for scrutiny and possible use, without informing the individual that such a search was being conducted. The reason this concerns Facebook is because one of the vectors that Turbine used was essentially a false Facebook server. It would represent itself as Facebook and use the social media site as a launchpad with which to infect the individual computer with its malicious software. Mark Zuckerberg, in response to both of these programs, vehemently denied direct involvement with PRISM and spoke with the president personally regarding programs such as Turbine and their violation of user rights. In a public post on Facebook, he stated that he would aggressively protect user information and privacy and disavowed any direct participation in PRISM. Privacy will always be a challenge for Facebook. They have a drive to monetize what they do, and the only resource they have available to them is information, primarily user information. At the same time, they have a mandate as a social media site to protect user privacy and security. The balance between these two seemingly opposing drives is a fundamental challenge to the business, and how they will face this in the future remains to be seen. Thank you very much.